I'm super excited for this session, and believe me, I was also there 12 years ago, sitting in the same corridor probably, and listening to one of my alumni and getting inspired. So all that I want to do for today's session is inspire each one of you and help you learn. That's the most important thing, right? We are going to start with the growth mindset here. So definitely looking forward to the session here. Let me share my slides and I will go over the agenda with you guys. Okay. Connie, let me know when the slides are visible.
Yes, I can see them.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So welcome everyone to the session. I'm going to be talking about lots of prompt potentials, which would be, going into the growth mindset journey personally with me. And then obviously our top of mind stuff, which is all about AI and Copilot. And I'm sure everyone is excited about this topic these days. So I would start by talking a little bit about myself. I was a UBC student from, I think, in 2012. From 2014, I did my Master's of Engineering program there at UBC Vancouver. Then I moved to the States. I worked there for 4 years as a senior cloud systems engineer. And then I came back to Canada and then started working at Microsoft as a cloud solution architect 4 years ago. So it's been a wonderful journey, I must say, and I am super thankful to God for all the struggles that I have faced after passing UBC. And I did not know what I was doing, but then I think I carved my way pretty well at Microsoft. So super thankful. This is me. This is my family. You can see my grad picture. And then I have always been a dancer ever since I was 6 years old. I love water sports activities, and then lots of fun with travels and stuff. So that's my huge passion. I would now like to just introduce more on why I'm here and what am I doing with all these sessions that I'm delivering to the wonderful audience like you. I think I'm very much motivated, and the reason I'm motivated every day about at my job or the sessions like this, I do this all the time. I have I have been reached out by lots of universities for speaker opportunities, and the one thing that or actually the 3 C's that I kind of take into account whenever I do this is I would like everyone to kind of follow this if they can. And that's what we are taught, right? Even at Microsoft, it's been 4 years. I think every day we are kind of preached about creativity, curiosity, and compassion. Those are the 3 pillars of my everyday routine. Whatever I do, however I do, I kind of make it, I want to, whatever I'm given, the work I'm given, I am not doing. So my job is right now, we are obviously hybrid. So I go to the office, I kind of meet partners, but then mostly it's in front of this laptop. But I don't sit in front of this laptop and run a program every day. That's not my job. I have to be creative as a cloud solution architect. I have to be very curious about so within Microsoft, I work with the partner organizations, and I have to be very curious on how those partners are advancing in all the amazing technologies that they are trying to adopt, or they're just adopting for the sake of adopting, right? And then obviously I have to show compassion at work within my employees and the partners that we have. So super respectful on that one. But yeah, these are the 3 areas where I try to focus on every day, and that is what actually pushes me. I'm a strong motivator of STEM or STEAM. These days we call it women in STEM areas. Amazing. I would love to hear any other woman, whoever has joined the call. At the end of the call, I would love to open the floor and would love to hear your thoughts on how you are trying to cope up with everything that's going on in the tech world. And I just must say it now, it's open for all of us. Please do not feel that tech is only for guys. Let me just put it out there. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about me, I just wanted to, I think I missed a slide. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we are following the agenda since we have just about 40 minutes now. I'm going to be going over the art of Copilot prompting with you. Then I will discuss some best practices of prompt writing. And I'm sure everybody knows what a prompt is these days. I'm sure UBC is allowing you to use Copilot. And then obviously we want to transition into the growth mindset, inspiring growth mindset principles, and then what a fostering growth mindset means. And I'll share my personal stories around it. And then obviously we'll conclude and I want to talk to you guys at the end. So definitely saving some time for that. So whoever has not heard about this amazing word called Copilot, I hope you guys are all aware of this word. I hope it has changed all our lives for good, and that's what we believe at Microsoft. That's what we believe and breathe in these days. It's a whole different word for us. Even working within Microsoft, I can tell you our whole lives have changed. The way we approach even reading an email has changed. So let me just put it out there. It's not just people who are coping up outside Microsoft. It's even within Microsoft. We are trying to train this amazing AI model every day, and we are trying to get as much information as is possible, as much streamlining information as possible to it and from it, right? So, what are the like capabilities of Copilot? We all know we use it for content creation, right? But that's not only what it does. It helps us in numerous ways. And I cannot stress enough on how many numerous ways it can be possible. There can be whole different series of sessions that I can do, but obviously there are some of them are summarizing documents, streamlining the workflows, and streamlining the workflows is definitely one thing that has changed the way we work around. I think everyone reading an email, sending a message to anybody on Teams, catching up with emails, catching up with missed meetings, writing a quick recap of the meeting. Oh my God, it has saved so much time and energy for all of us. So, and I must say UBC should move to Teams as soon as possible. It's going to be much easier. And then discussion on Copilots, like how are we going to, like what is the engineering behind prompt engineering, right? How do you tackle those tasks that can come to you? So I believe everyone uses Copilot in their everyday labs. I know you might not have, the user licensing, which is through an org or somewhere else, but you might use it here and there through Bing Copilot or something like that. So that's all about it. You can learn about Copilot. You don't have to have a full license on it. So this is a very, very important slide, I must say, this one and the second one. But then this one is, how do you want to explain what a prompt is? And then what is an art and science of prompting? So prompts are how you ask Copilot to do something, right? It's about creating or summarizing, editing, or transforming. It can be anything. It can be creating an image, creating a document, creating an FAQ, creating your assignment, whatever it is. So prompt is how you ask Copilot to do something. And think of it as having a conversation with Copilot, but you have to be very clear of the output that you're looking for. You might have to, when you're learning something from a project, you might have to give it some context, and those are the context terms that we are going to use in the next or learn in the next few slides. But you can use it to edit text, you can use it to transform your documentation from a 10-pager to like a 1-pager. You can summarize information, you can create an engaging content, for example the designer exercise that we are going to do today, and then obviously catching up on missed items or anything that is of high priority to you. So so the next part is this slide, and I think these slides will be shared. If not, then I should ask you to please take a screenshot here. It's not something hidden. These 4 key elements are super important when you're writing a prompt here. So you start with your goal, right? and then you go into the context of where the goal is coming from, and then the source of it, and then the expectation, right? So how do you explain a full good prompt? Like, what are the four key elements? Is the goal, context, source, and expectation. So for example, in this particular prompt, you are asking to generate 3 to 4 bullet points to prepare for me for a meeting with the client X to discuss their phase 3 plus brand campaign. Focus on email and chats since June, and then please use simple language so I can get up to speed quickly. So you know how we used, what's the goal of this? We are looking to generate 3 to 4 bullet points. What is the context? That particular brand campaign. Where is the source coming from? On emails or chats or whatever you're referencing a document, that's fine. And then what are the expectations here? We want Copilot to use very simple language so that I know what's going on in this project. So these are the four ingredients, super important. Obviously, they can change with the tone, the narrative, the information that you're trying to create, and that you will see in the future comments. They can be named something differently, but the gist of it is these four key elements. Okay, so the next one is on, like, last but not the least, in art and science of prompting is keeping the conversation going. It's very important that we understand that Copilot is also, think of it as it's your assistant, right? It's not a perfect tool that will give you something amazing in the first prompt that you have written for it. That's not how Copilot is supposed to work. And believe me, it's never going to work that way. You will have to, you will have to keep the conversation going. You will have to give more ideas, more content. You will have to enable, for example, you want to talk about a meeting or an email in the same format. You have to give that. It's your storytelling assistant. Then, like, think of it as your guide instead of just doing the work for you, right? You're gaining insights from it. You can also use it to translate language or solve technical problems. So do not think that Copilot is going to give you the perfect information in the first prompt that you have written for it, right? This is what I tell all the students and everybody wherever I go for this session, is that whenever you write a prompt, you make sure that it's telling a story about your end goal. It's very, very important that we understand that every prompt tells a story of what you're trying to achieve with that prompt, and that's the goal of it. And verbose is one thing that I keep telling everyone, is that see how we use summarize. Like, why can't we use rephrase, paraphrase, some different words, right? Like, try to look at that, open your dictionary, if I may say, and think about out of the box words for Copilot so that it can get you that kind of result, right? It's your new assistant. Imagine getting a personal assistant for yourself and for free in Canada. So yeah, so that's the goal and the gist of it. And so the tips for prompting in Copilot is, you have to iterate your conversations. You have to keep asking. Do not quit. Just don't give up on Copilot. Give it time to get to the result that you are looking for. Continue with your conversation, but you have to make sure, and I tell this to all the students specifically, not only students, I mean, like, whoever is in the corporate world. It's not that Copilot has written an email for you, right? Or has written a summary of a meeting recap for us, even in the corporate world, and we kind of copy and paste that summary and send it to everyone. That's now how things work. Believe me, we have to verify, we have to review the content, and it's super important that we do that, because most of the, like, sometimes it might not be what we needed, right? Or we just want to highlight some facts out of that meeting. So you are going to be, like, surprised on how much verification you must be doing when you are creating your assignments and stuff. Then every time you ask Copilot, and you will see it in the exercise also, you will be surprised on the unique responses. Even when I was creating this presentation for you guys, I was running through a demo. If I run this demo live with you guys, I'm gonna get completely different answer. And that's the beauty of the large language model, right? AI or LLM, that it gives you information from various sources that it is getting trained, so that you're not just sticking to one kind of information every time you type something, right? um, so this point, the fourth point, right in the positive, this is very interesting aspect of Copilot, and which I have experienced personally, is that when you're prompting in Copilot, it's interesting on how going to like let Copilot know what you want in the prompt, but at the end of the prompt, try telling Copilot what you do not want to get out of that prompt, or what you don't want to do, what you do not want Copilot to do or the prompt to do, right? So sometimes it's good to get start with the positive note, and I'll show you the example of what I mean here, so that you get more context to it. But it's very important that sometimes we end the prompt on what not we are looking for, like what is it that we are not looking for in that answer. And then new chat. So you might have seen when you are playing around with Copilot, you can always, start your chats and play around and stuff like that. So this is another very short, crisp way of saying, like, what are the best practices? If someone asks me, I will show them these 3 points, right? Your prompts have to be very clear and concise, right? Try to communicate your needs very, very effectively. Provide context and setting the expectations, right? What are you looking for? What is the context? That will guide Copilot's response. Examples of well crafted prompts are like they result in high quality output. So as you will see, your prompting techniques will improve, you will get high quality outputs from those. So that's another way of looking at it. So let's go into the prompt examples. So yeah, if you look at this first example, the goal is that I'm looking for a recipe for lasagna. The context is that I'm a beginner cook. The source and specific information is that I'm trying to make an Italian cuisine. And then the expectations are that I want it in the list format for ease of readability. I don't know how to cook a lasagna, obviously, right? So what I'm doing here with this prompt is that I'm letting this prompt know that I am a beginner cook trying to make Italian cuisine. Can you provide me with simple and easy to follow recipe for lasagna? Write it step-by-step list. You see how these four key elements of the prompts are covered in just, I mean, 3 lines. Is it so? It's that simple. If you have, I would say, for students who are just getting started with prompt engineering, if you start writing these four things on the left side, and the key elements that we have for prompting, and the rest on the right side on what you're looking for, and then um, you know create a sentence or a two from this information that you have typed, you will be amazed on the level of output that you're receiving from Copilot. The second example is, and it's a more of like a project implementation example. I don't want to go deep into this, but it's same, right? I have given the goal to understand exception handling. I'm a new software developer. I'm working on my Python project, and I want the response to be easy to understand without super technical vocabulary. So now, what is the prompt here? I'm a new software developer working on a Python project. Can you explain how to implement exception handling in Python? Like I'm 5 years old, you can actually mention that to Copilot and see the response, right? So that's how amazing it can be. It can give you a 5-year-old answer, and it can give you a 55-year-old answer. Um, yes. So now that we have touched some of prompt engineering, I want you to before we go into the demo part of the exercise, I really want you guys to be interested in this topic, which is growth mindset, and very, very dear to my heart. I can say it with so much confidence that the way I see the world today is not how I saw it, right? When I graduated from UBC, because I was not as successful as my other friends at UBC. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't even get a co-op. Can you imagine? And and today I'm at Microsoft, touch wood, by the grace of God and my hard work, I'm here. But I'm just letting you know that nothing is impossible. So I had this growth mindset from day one. As soon as I think I landed here 12 years ago with my family, and even my brother is a UBC alumni. He also did his bachelor's from UBC a couple of years after I left. So we both are, UBC is very close to us. I think it has given us friends for life. So that's for sure. But again, I did feel a little sad. Okay, so what is a growth mindset? I want you guys to believe that your abilities can grow with effort and persistence. And this is super important to know that as you are in whichever transition year you are at UBC. I don't know if you're final year students or even if you're in your first year. The mindset that you have from day one will help you grow and make you the person that you won't even realize even 5 years down the line. You will realize it after a couple of years. And I did realize it, but I think it's after about now 10 to 12 years that I realized that, okay, I was becoming that person at that time, but it's just that I was not trying to understand. And the reason I choose this topic is because when somebody asks me and I reflect back on what is it that kind of, made me do those efforts and my persistence was growth mindset. That is why I choose this topic every day to every student that I can talk to. And again, I don't want to be super preachy. I know we might have all had lots of lectures today, but again, it's so important to be in that fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Um, playground, if I may say so. We kind of I see some people can switch between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset based on their interests and capabilities. But I want to challenge you guys to wherever you are doing growth mindset or you are implementing it in your day-to-day life, that's amazing. Please continue doing that. But wherever you feel that you have a very fixed mindset, you kind of give up easily, you see failures as the worst thing that has happened. Oh my God, stop saying this to yourself. As students, nothing is worse that has happened yet, okay? And nothing will happen. Don't worry, the word is not going to fall. So please believe in yourself. Ignore any useful negative feedback or anything, or don't feel threatened by the success of others. That is what I think have learned in the last 10 to 12 years. Don't avoid challenges. These are super important. They will help you grow in the way that you will not even realize in the next 5 years, maybe down the line. Okay. So wherever you are seeing that you have this fixed mindset for yourself personally, write those things down and make sure you come up from that fixed mindset to transition to the growth mindset. That's all I want you guys to learn from this slide. I really want you guys to focus on those 3 4 items that you have in your mind where you're like, oh, I don't want to change, I don't know what to do, I don't want to do this. No, can you please just think and try of doing it and just forget about anything else, forget about the results. Okay. And obviously, so there are 2 things that I have noticed, and obviously we all have seen this within our group of friends. We have seen it at our home. Our parents are super supportive as usual, but maybe we have a cousin or a brother or a sister who's always like, but then I think there are 2 ways of seeing a growth mindset also. You have a growth mindset, and there are some people around you who are fostering a growth mindset of yours. So it's very important to be around those kind of people, to or even become something like that for someone. You have a growth mindset, great. On the previous slide, I told you, right? You have like 3 4 things where you have growth mindset. Amazing. Can you foster that growth mindset for your friends, for your family members, for your cousins, for your little ones? I think it will be great to do that, just to listen to them, sit when you go home, just to be able to be open to ideas on what they are saying. That will change the way you look at the world. And this is not going to happen in a day. I know that. I have also taken my time. You will take your own sweet time, but just try to foster a growth mindset. Wherever you have a growth mindset, amazing, but try to foster it as well. And Satya Nadella is our, everyone knows Satya. Who doesn't know it? He is such a big promoter of growth mindset. I cannot emphasize enough. We have actually, in our perspectives, we actually have a whole pillar around it. Like we get to implement this every day, and we get to see this through the lenses of our managers and their managers every day. And I'm so proud to say that, like, I'm getting to get to that level where my manager is, coming from when she sees me doing something completely out of the blue. So it will help you in ways you will not realize. So what is a growth mindset of now you will ask me, like, how do I act on it, right? Like, I do want to do this. The five steps that you can take is be self-aware. That's what I told you, right? Write down. If you don't know, try to write down something on a piece of paper on where you think your growth mindset needs to go. Or if it's not going there, can you write it down, that why it is not doing it? And then, for example, you're working on a project and you're very, like, fussy around, like, oh, I cannot do this challenge, it's so hard, I would rather fail on this project, it's fine. No. Can you write it down? Can you just experiment? Sit with your group of friends, whoever are doing those projects with you, and can you experiment talking to them at least, or listening to their ideas, and then see how you will be so involved in the conversation, and before you know it, you'll be like, oh, I think I gave a wonderful idea on this particular point, right? And then also, do not think that, okay, this one project is done and let's close the book for growth mindset. That's not how you see it. You have to focus on your progress over time. Even if you are able to just suggest for that one point in this one project that you're working on, you might want to take this to a next level in your next class where you're working on a whole new project by yourself. And then you are like, oh, this is how I have grown, right? I have progressed, and my mind has progressed from not even getting involved in that project to actually taking a whole project and being a project lead, or taking that challenge from my teachers, right? Learning from others, I cannot emphasize enough. I know we are in this mindset, oh, our friends don't know much. How much do they know, and all that stuff. But it's so important that we kind of open, and like we kind of just get those learnings from those friends, those people around us, with open arms. It's just super important, and you will see how, when you start learning from others, how you are behaving, the whole perspective will change, right? And then choosing the right words, I cannot emphasize enough. I tell people, whenever you're given an opportunity or a challenge, actually, do not start by saying, oh, I cannot do this, oh my god. Just remove this from your mental dictionary. You can do it. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I will do it. Yes, I know how to do it. Or yes, I will learn how to do it. That's how you will actually foster that growth mindset growth. Okay. I think we are going a little behind. I want to go into the actions, prompts in actions kind of thing. Okay, so let's go here. I don't want to waste more time on the growth mindset. So, as all of you know, what's prompt engineering, right? It's creating effective prompts. You're training large language models with systems such as Copilot to give you the output that you need. And then it can be a piece of text, data, document, URL, whatever you're trying to output from Copilot. So prompt engineering is form of a human in the loop interaction with Copilot, where you provide the guidance or constraints. And a well-designed prompt can be a high quality, can also give you like high quality, relevant, and diverse responses. So how do we see this in action is, can I ask each one of you to please open Bing Copilot on your screens, and it's free. You just have to open Bing, and then you will see a Copilot icon there, and just open Copilot there. And if you want, I can show you how you do this. So this is Bing, right? If you can see my screen, and this is the Copilot symbol here. Can you please click Copilot here, and you will be, I don't know if you will be redirected. From my side, I get redirected because I'm in Microsoft EDU. Are we all there? Yet? No? Yes? No? Are people able to unmute themselves, Connie?
Yes, they can. Or folks, if you'd like to just pop in the chat, just to let Molina know if it's working for you. And I'm seeing a couple of yeses come through already. And
Awesome. So what I
perfect.
want to do here in this exercise with you guys is I want you to, I'm going to type some prompts here. Just see if you can copy paste that prompt and see if you can run these prompts on your side. Okay. So for example, first prompt, you can type it yourself, create an image. That's it. Just one prompt that says creating an image, right? And I want to, if you want, you can share your images, that's fine, but I just want you to think of starting with this one particular prompt. And then when we go next, what I have done is I have taken an example of a Pomeranian. So what you want to do is you can select any animal breed of your choice, anything, and then you say create an image of dash, like whatever the breed choice is for you, right? And try to run that prompt in Designer or Copilot and see what is the image that you get. So this is what I get. And the reason I'm trying to say this to you is it's a good exercise when you think of it, that what are the elements that we learned previously, what other elements can be added to make a prompt look amazing. And you will see it in the following prompts. So for example, like this prompt has a simple element, these two simple elements, which is a task, is an image creation task. And the constraint is we are including a specific dog breed here, right? Okay, let me move to the next one so that it's more helpful. So here I'm giving a prompt saying as an artist, and let me just copy paste the prompt for you guys first. Here, I pasted it in the chat window. So here, what am I doing in this is I'm taking two different elements, completely different elements, and I'm changing the tone, which is more descriptive and expressive, by saying that this is, I want to create a vibrant digital painting. And then I'm also specifying the role, which is as an artist, right? So Copilot is taking a role of an artist, and then it is also taking into consideration the tone of it. The next one here, and you see how I feel like you guys are able to attach this conversation to the growth mindset. You see how we are opening different scenarios in our minds, saying how one dog picture can be created in different forms, right? So here what I'm doing is I'm creating an image of a dog with two elements, which is I'm changing the format, which is now a sticker. It says design an adorable Pomeranian sticker with a whimsical background. So I'm saying a sticker and task, specific task, like where that particular dog is sitting, right? Let me just forward you this one as well. I hope you guys are able to see it on your side. Let me know, or maybe you can share the images. In my last session, people were able to share their images. That was fun. So another one is, I just want to give you a few examples. So another one is obviously using watercolors, right? So here I'm changing the style. So now the style is a watercolor. These are the elements like style and importance of order. See how here the importance of order comes into picture. So the most important and critical, so using watercolors, depict a fluffy Pomeranian sitting in a sunlit garden. Here I could have also said not sitting in a sunlit garden. So it would have completely thrown away the possibility of a sunlit garden, and it would have given me a completely different background. And if I want to say, okay, I want this Pomeranian to be sitting in an on a dining table, then it would have given me a different format, right? So that's how a different verbiage can change the prompt. So here I'm crafting a lifelike digital portrait of a Pomeranian, capturing its expressive eyes and fur texture. What are the two elements we are changing here? The complexity of prompt is including specific features, which is eyes and fur texture, and there are also details which are focusing on the realism and capturing specific effects, right? So how that is being changed? Did we get any pictures? I'm really looking forward to some pictures, guys. Am I still? I hope this session is interesting for all of you. But I really wanted you guys to learn in a fun way, like not just a session, right? Um, and then here, my prompt is illustrating a Pomeranian gazing lovingly at its owner using a soft pastel color palette. So here, the elements are emotion and style. You see how every prompt has different emotion, different element in it, and how a different element has changed the output completely. That's the amazingness of Copilot here, right? Again, another one, compose a scene, a Pomeranian puppy exploring a watercolor field during a golden hour. So see how it has changed. Here I'm changing the narrative and the scene setting. So this is going to add a depth, and the narrative is that I'm setting a story of a sunflower field or wherever I can. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for sharing that. That is amazing. And then let me copy paste this one. Let's move to the next one. I really want you guys. Okay, so this one is very going to be interesting for you guys because I have actually done this in a different format. So this one is creating an image of a Pomeranian themed greeting card for a dog lover's birthday. And I'm sure you guys will use it in the next birthday party that you have of a friend's or wherever. But the elements of this prompt is audience and purpose, right? And the audience is specified by like it is a dog lover, and then the purpose is to celebrate the birthday. Can you guys imagine? So this one is the dog that Copilot has taken is like a dog from Copilot. What I did was, and what you will learn in my future slides is a reverse engineering aspect of it, where I actually gave Copilot my my dog's images. Like I don't have a dog, but my friend's dog images, and I created a greeting card or an invitation card based on that. And oh my god, my friend was super happy. So believe me, it is all about how you are trying to give that Copilot that information to get the actual output from it, right? It's completely reverse engineering that you have to do, but it's fun, right? And then there's another one. I just wanted to have as many prompts as possible for you guys. Here we are incorporating, like based on the previous command, I also want to add some advanced animations. So that's what it has added. So what we have learned so far is that possible elements of a prompt, there are lots of elements. I know I talked about those 4 key elements. Those are like the actual key elements which will give you a good prompting. But these are like different elements where you can use different kind set of prompts. Thank you, Janet, for showing the picture. This is amazing. So yeah, so you can specify a task, or you can pose a question, you can have a role, describe the audience or the purpose, set a context or a scene. You can also set a tone, right? These are all of the elements. And again, you don't have to use all these elements in one prompt that you're typing. You can have the iterative versions, and then in the iterative versions, you can add more elements to it. So that's the gist of prompt engineering and the fun behind it. So here what I have done is I think I want to show you something else. Okay, so this is another good example of how I have reverse engineered the prompt. So what I'm doing here is that I have so in this part, the last part of it, I'm not sure if you can see the screen where it says under you, right? It says this prompt, the role, task, and audience. So I had this information with me. I did not know how to create a good prompt out of this information. So what I did was I told Copilot, hey Copilot, can you create an image creating prompt for me? Can you help me create that? And I want to make sure that the elements that I am going to tell you, you create the image according to that elements, right? And then Copilot was like, yeah, ready. I'm all set to hear you and let me know what are those elements. So I provided those elements to Copilot, and believe me, this is the prompt I got. Okay, so this is the prompt I got based on those elements that I got. And then I told Copilot, hey, Copilot, can you create an image from this prompt that you have created now? What it did was it actually created an amazing event based on amazing image based on this prompt. Isn't this amazing? So that's how wonderful. Like, you are giving Copilot some context, it gives you the prompt, and then you ask it to create an image out of that prompt. This is another way of prompt engineering kind of a thing. The next one is, what I did was, I had this cat image picture. I wanted Copilot to give me a prompt based on this picture. So you also have the functionality where you provide an image to Copilot and it will give you a prompt based on that particular image. And what it did was, it provided me with this particular prompt, right? And then based on that particular prompt, I added some of the extra stuff where I wanted a park scene at sunrise. You can have sunset and all that stuff. And then what it did was, it created based on that image that I gave it. I feel it's pretty close, right, to what I gave Copilot. Like, look at the beauty of it. Like, it's super close to what I was asking for. So that's another way of looking at it, right? This one is amazing. So what I'm doing with this one is that I have an image and I want Copilot, and I also have some categories of that image, right? For example, you have a image in your project and you have categories in your mind, like, oh, I don't know what I should call it. Is it a vintage? It's a technological art. It's a nature art or something like that. So what I did was, I gave a summary of what those particular art forms look like, and I provided Copilot an image. And this was my image that I gave Copilot. And what Copilot did was, based on that image, it did the analysis and it told me that it best fits my nature art category, but it can also fit the abstract art, because, and it also gave me the reason on why it is trying to fit the image in those two categories, right? Isn't this amazing for your projects? I feel everyone should be using it. Okay, amazing. Awesome. So this one, yeah, again, this one I was playing around. I was like, hey, can you, instead of that image, can you create this image? And then it was going, okay, can you particularly mention on the color experience setting. So I was just playing around with it. But yeah, but I feel like we all have learned a lot from like the second half of the session. If not so, I feel like you guys are enabled enough to create good prompts, and they will be descriptive, and you will list the parameters which are the key elements of the prompts. You will also give some style or something, right? You can provide text, images, documents, or audio. You can use iterations in your prompts. And then, yeah, share and share your prompts with your colleagues and your friends and all the amazing people that you have around. So yeah, I think that's all from my side.